Everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. I hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching or listening in from. Appreciate you tuning in to another episode of Crypto Happy Hour. Shout out to the folks watching on YouTube, also on Periscope and Twitch right now as well. What's up, J-Bags? What is up, Brett? Hope you guys are having a good one so far. The volume's all right, let me know so I can take these stupid things off, because I had some microphone issues. Shocker, right? That never happens. Never happened to me before, ever in the history of ever. But if the volume's good, let me know, and I'll take these things off because they're rather large and annoying. What is up, Crypto Stefan, Ninja Grassmaster, Hello Kitty? What's going on? What's going on? So today, wanted to talk about a few different things. The Bitfinex potential IEO, what's happening there. Also have the new gold. All right, sweet. Looks like it's good. Also have the new drop gold buy Bitcoin advertising campaign that actually got a lot of pickup. And that was from Grayscale Investment Trust, who runs the, which is, I believe, a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, or DCG, who runs the GBTC investment vehicle, which allows you to purchase essentially kind of not a derivative, but essentially purchasing Bitcoin without purchasing Bitcoin sometimes comes at a large premium. So we can definitely talk through that and much more, as well as all of your questions, obviously. So we'll get into all of that and we'll have a good time doing so. So first off, not sure if anybody saw this. This came out this afternoon, but unless you've been literally sleeping under a rock for the past couple of days, Bitfinex has run into a whole host of legal issues. And for those who are not aware, there's kind of an issue that's essentially coming to a head. Court order, I believe, on May 6th. So right now, with the Bitfinex and Tether drama, there is a potential for it to kind of really either materialize or turn into a non-issue on May 6th. So that is the time frame I think you really want to keep an eye on. That is Monday. Just had to pull up the calendar to check that out. But in addition to that, this was rumored basically the day, really within hours of a lot of this kind of negative information coming out. I think Dovey Wan was I think that's her last name. Dovey was the kind of one that broke this from a Telegram group. There were a number of rumors about this, but Bitfinex doing a token sale up to $1 billion, copying some aspects of the BNB token, with trading fees or a reduction of trading fees if you hold the token. And also it sounds like convertible to equity, similar to what Bitfinex did during the 2016 hack. So a lot to eventually unpack here, but I think this also does go to show a lot of the legitimacy of the issues right now that are surrounding Bitfinex, that if they really, this is a profitable, it's supposed to be a profitable business and a profitable enterprise, you're not really going to give away equity or, give away potential convertible to equity if there aren't major issues that you need that money to overcome. So this is something that I would definitely be keeping an eye on if you are interested in this stuff in the space, for sure. And then on the other end of the spectrum too, so we have Bitfinex, and then this is something. What's up, bro man dog on Twitch? What's going on, brother? So this is something that I thought was pretty cool and pretty well executed. And for those who might not know, I don't think, unless my financial advisor puts me in gold somehow, I don't know. But I am not a big gold guy. I'm not like a gold bug. It's never been an appealing investment vehicle for me. I've never really thought gold was that interesting. Outside of crypto, I basically just put my money in stock equities, and it's mostly just low cost ETFs. I use like Betterment, Wealthfront, and then have a financial advisor who takes care of all the other stuff. But the potential, I think there is this whole kind of generation, or this whole group of people that are just very interested in gold. And they have a name. It's gold bugs. And the team at Grayscale has gone after them, basically saying they need to drop gold. They did this whole commercial. It was covered in Ad Age, which is one of the bigger advertising and kind of like media publishing websites, blogs that tracks a lot of different ad campaigns. So it was pretty interesting to see how Grayscale is kind of doing this like viral type of advertising. I thought it was really well executed. I thought they did a great job. With this, talking about, hey, a lot of people like gold. And this is, if you look at this collection of a investment portfolio per se, this kind of mirrors what I have. For me personally, stocks, cash, bonds, and gold, except you'd probably replace definitely gold, but also mostly bonds as well with cryptocurrency. And that would be also kind of the equivalent amount in my portfolio for me as well, just because I can't be a total psychopath and have 100% of my net worth in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. But this is a really interesting, I think, approach to having people exposing Bitcoin to more people and exposing it for the alternative. I think a lot of people talk about Bitcoin as digital gold. A lot of people talk about certain aspects of it as a store of value, but it hasn't really kind of gone out there maybe in full force like this. And I do think this is most likely a fairly effective campaign, and I hope that it turns out well. There's an entire commercial for it too. If we look
Why
right
did you
here.
invest in gold?
See, there we go.
Are you living in the past?
See if I could get the actual commercial for you guys so you could see it.
Why did you invest in gold? Are you?
Oh, nope. Not getting the audio, but
Living
we
in
can
the
pull up
past.
the actual clip
In a
itself.
digital world.
Pretty good, pretty well
Gold
executed. Really
shouldn't weigh
enjoyed
down
it.
your
Graham,
portfolio.
what's up, my man?
You see where things are going.
But I thought it was pretty well
Digital
executed. For me
currencies like
personally,
Bitcoin
I also, not
are
investing
the
in
future.
gold, but investing or
They're
looking
secure.
at Bitcoin.
Borderless.
The Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust maybe isn't the most attractive thing for some people. If you go down here, you can see, some of you might not have known this, some of you might, but if you go down and check it out, you can actually buy GBTC on a variety of popular places like E-Trade, like Fidelity, like TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, etc., etc. So it already is something that is kind of widely available. A lot of people point to, like, we really need an ETF. This is something that is available on OTC markets right now. We're on, it's not like the New York Stock Exchange. It's on OTC is the name of, essentially the name of the market that they are traded on and not over the counter. But it does have availability on E-Trade, on Fidelity, on Charles Schwab, and a lot of these other places. And I don't think there is massive awareness. This was a smart job by the team at Grayscale to, number one, show the different value proposition of Bitcoin over something like, show the different value proposition of Bitcoin over something like a gold, and then also provide an actual investment vehicle for people to do something with it, because a lot of these people are not actually, a lot of the gold bugs are probably not buying gold and shoving that under their mattress. They're not going out and buying gold bars. They're probably buying gold ETFs or gold related stocks. This is a similar manner to how they would do that. Pamela, thoughts on cannabis stocks? Invested a position in Aurora Cannabis. I have enough worries in my life about shitcoins. I don't need shitweed stocks, so I stay away from cannabis stocks. I also am kind of a loser and don't know much about cannabis in general. So as far as my evaluation would go, I'd probably not be the best person. I prefer to take my take my substances in the form of whiskey and beer over cannabis. And I respect everyone's preference out there. Good question there from my man Ninja Grassmaster. Coinbase, do you approve Dogecoin being added to Coinbase? Well, first of all, the thing that we need to differentiate is Coinbase is getting some shit for this, which is kind of funny in general. But Coinbase added Dogecoin to Coinbase Wallet. So you cannot go to Coinbase right now or Coinbase Pro and trade Doge. Shout out Doge, got me to crypto in 2013, my first original shitcoin. And the first thing that I ever mined or anything like that as well. So I have a soft spot for Doge. I've always had a weak spot in my heart for Doge. But Coinbase came out, and a lot of people, like, I guess maybe a lot of Bitcoiners were not maybe happy about it, whatever. But they came out and said they were supporting Doge within the Coinbase wallet. For me, I don't think that is necessarily a massive deal. I believe it used to be Toshi. It used to be primarily Ethereum, and they've changed it to the entire Coinbase wallet. You could store, if we go over here, I mean, it's just for storage, but you could do Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, XRP, Stellar Lumens. You could store any of your ERC20, ERC21 tokens on there. So rolling out Doge is what it is. I don't think it actually moved the price or anything like that either. I've downloaded Coinbase Wallet. I haven't actually used it for anything in particular, but yeah, I don't think there's really a need to be upset. I do think that it is relatively interesting watching the kind of continued movement of Coinbase to support more and more cryptocurrencies, rather than like the initial concentration where, I mean, for a very long time, Coinbase was just Bitcoin. Then it was Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And it was like that for quite some time. At least it felt like that for me. And then the Bitcoin Cash thing happened. You had the Bitcoin Cash fork. And then there was just a variety of assets that kind of slowly got added. Now it feels like we're kind of rolling down the hill with more and more Coinbase assets. So yeah, it seems to me like it's a little bit more competitive with what Binance is doing than some of the other exchanges out there. Like, for me, you have Gemini, which appears to be very, very like highly regulated, similar to like kind of what Coinbase was in the past, almost in my mind. And I think Coinbase has kind of strayed away from that and has moved more towards like the Binance strategy of it's nowhere near where Binance is at all right now, but moving more and more towards sharing towards numerous assets. And then you also have Square, which there was some information we could talk about that today. But Square, we'll pull it up here. The number of Bitcoin sales actually topped $65 million on Square's Cash app in Q1 of 2019, which is nice to see. And Square is a public company, so that information came out when they announced their earnings call. And you could see the popularity there that is increasing for Square and the Cash app in terms of Bitcoin. If you listen to any podcasts at all as well, you've probably heard advertisements for the Cash app. Like, Square is probably one of the most prominent podcast advertisers out there. I'm a big Pardon My Take guy on Barstool. They're like the official sponsor of Pardon My Take. And even when like Big Cat is reading the Square or the Cash app advertisement, talks about, buying and selling different things and being able to buy Bitcoin within the ad. So I think, that type of thing has helped spread awareness. It's still, I think, a relatively smaller amount of just Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. The one thing I would say, though, that will be interesting if and when we ever do see another like quote unquote bull run, another thing I think will be really interesting is the infrastructure is so much better than it was in 2017 to actually accommodate people if they are interested in investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies rather than 2017. Like, if you guys were around in 2017 for, whatever it was, like October, November, December, and then like January, you had like Bittrex and Poloniex and all these exchanges closing new registrations. Was one of the big reasons why Binance really came into the fold, was because they were one of the few companies that were actually taking new registrations. And now you have legitimate companies out there like Square. You also have companies like Coinbase and Gemini and Kraken that I think have scaled up their infrastructure and improved their tech infrastructure significantly, to the point where if you do see this like crazy hockey stick of growth of onboarding in the crypto ecosystem of people trying to invest, there's not going to be, at least in my mind, they're probably not going to be as held back as they were previously by some of the lack of accounts or just the user onboarding or the lack of kind of just readiness from the actual companies themselves. Always saw you as more of a kombucha drinker. I don't drink that at all. I'm drinking water right now. Tonight we'll go protein shake because trying to get back into meathead Bobby form. We'll see if that ever happens, but I'm doing my best. And start shooting questions away as well. Always happy to talk about those. So this is interesting. Moist Boys. Not a big fan of the word moist, but hey, it's in your username, so we'll roll with it. Have you heard of Matic, supposedly backed by Coinbase, just listed on Binance? Thoughts? So we'll pull this up. So Coinbase has a ventures arm, similar to a variety of other companies out there. I do not think that, I guess it's let's say slightly a big deal, but just because Coinbase Ventures has invested in a project does not necessarily mean that is going to get, I think, in my mind, some type of like crazy, holy crap, special treatment. I mean, they've invested in a lot of different companies. Matic is one such company. Matic was just listed on Binance. And then I believe there was I saw this on Twitter where people were talking about it like this was on the Coinbase website and they took it down, or there was something like that. And then once it finally got confirmed, it pumped the price of Matic. I mean, this is crypto. So if now in every article, like if we go back here, you could see it is in Coinbase Ventures, a portfolio list there. But now you could see, Coinbase Ventures, Matic, Coinbase Ventures, Coinbase Ventures. So something a lot of people, I guess, will kind of get things attached to, similar to what happened with Circle. Like if you look at Circle in every single article, Goldman Sachs invested in Circle. And every single time you see an article about Circle in any mainstream news now, it always says Goldman Sachs backed company or Goldman Sachs backed Circle or Goldman Sachs backed crypto company. It doesn't even lead with Circle. It just is like Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs. Same kind of thing might end up being true, for better, for worse, for Matic here. Thoughts on who Satoshi is? Hal Finney and Nick Szabo. It's Craig Wright, though. I got to say Craig Wright. I don't want to get sued. Sorry. Gordon Bryce, this is a really good point. So if any of you guys, let me know if you're familiar with DYDX. This is it's a DeFi company. It's built on top of Ethereum. See if I can pull it up. I don't have MetaMask on the new version of Brave. Dope. So this is pretty cool. It's basically like a decentralized version of BitMEX, one might say. It is margin trading. It's leverage trading for Ethereum right now. But I had a chance to actually in the old day job had met with somebody from the DYDX team at AirSwap recently. And actually earlier this week, I think it was on Monday, got a chance to get a demo of DYDX before it launched, which was awesome. And I really do like this. I think it's solid. There might be some, initially it's certainly not going to be as liquid as some of the other places out there, like a BitMEX or anything like that. But this is something that will allow you to either go leveraged long or short on Ethereum, and then I believe they're looking to open that up to other cryptocurrencies as well. So shouldn't just be limited to, but like if you're a big time Ethereum hater, then this is something where you can open up a short position. You can go up to 4x short right now on Ethereum. You could do isolated margin, or you could do cross margin as well. In addition to that, you can also right now on DAI and on Ethereum, you could both deposit Ethereum as well as deposit DAI to earn. You could earn 12% interest on DAI right now. This fluctuates. It's similar to compound finance. So where, due to supply and demand, the rate will actually fluctuate. So right now, if you were to borrow DAI, you would actually be paying about 22%. So definitely not the best place to borrow DAI, but if you'd like to supply DAI and earn an interest rate, you would earn about 12% annually on your DAI. But again, that fluctuates on a consistent basis. Josh Ramportal, would you consider yourself, or would you call yourself a Bitcoin slash Ethereum maximalist? I don't know. I don't know. The two things I'm most interested in are definitely both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have a fat portion of my crypto right now is actually in Tezos holdings, and I've also kind of been slowly building up a position in Cosmos as well. So I don't think I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ferris. Oh, it's Mr. Blah again. Hey Ferris, what's going on, buddy boy? Dollar Bill, didn't DAI increase the maintenance fee recently? So I talked about this in the last crypto happy hour, and I should probably I think I made a video about this back in the day where I talked about how to open up a CDP. Dollar Bill, if you're really curious about that, you can actually go if you search on YouTube and search like Crypto Bobby CDP. It should probably come CDP DAI maybe. It should probably come up where I did a video tutorial on how to open up a CDP with MakerDAO. But when you just touch DAI, if you do not actually utilize a CDP at all, you don't know what that means, but you just, you take Ethereum and you buy DAI, you don't have to worry about the stability fee really ever. It's not really a worry for you. You're not going to ever interact with the stability fee of the MakerDAO system unless you're utilizing the CDPs, which are the collateralized debt positions. A question from Delirium that I think is pretty solid. Do you think crypto still has a long way to go to become more noob friendly? It's still complicated with seed phrases, addresses, needing to set up a lightning connection, etc. So I don't know if a long way. There are certain companies and products that are coming out that are pretty cool. So if we pull up here, so this is something we're integrating in the very near future at AirSwap. It's a company called Portis. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to create an Ethereum wallet without, so I'll click on get started. You can create an Ethereum wallet with your email, and you can do an email and a password essentially. And that's all you need. You can export the private key if you'd like, but it's much more similar to kind of like a traditional bank account rather than what you would find with another type of, it's just more like a traditional account rather than what you would see with like a MetaMask or something like that. So it's a lot more familiar to people. It's a newer service, it's a newer company, but Portis is one, and also Fortmatic is another one we're working on integrating with as well. So Fortmatic is for kind of phone numbers too, I believe. I haven't gotten a chance to interface with this one as much, but basically it works with, web browsers, mobile browsers, and all you need is a phone number to onboard somebody into your dApp. And then like this type of thing, I think, is what will help also just onboard people additionally. You always have to check, and you always have to make sure that the security is there with these companies in addition to that. But Portis allows people to sign up and basically get involved into the Ethereum ecosystem through their email address. On the other end of the spectrum, Fortmatic allows people to do so with their phone number. Both of those kind of abstract the part of cryptocurrency that is confusing for a lot of people. And I do think that both of these have potential to be, great for individuals to use without the confusion that kind of can stem from certain aspects of things. Guy with, great question. Have you ever cooked a steak on a Weber gas grill or just New York City frying pan? used to live in Jersey and had my own grill. So, yes, I have cooked a steak on an actual grill, and I prefer charcoal if we're really being honest over anything. But charcoal is kind of a pain in the ass, and I also have an apartment, so I have a grill, but it's not mine, and it's gas, and gas sucks. Actually, no, the grill in my apartment's electric, and that's the worst thing in the world. It's a joke. Absolutely a joke. Thanks a lot, Dennis. I appreciate that, man. So Mr. Simpson says, "Hey, Bobby, can Bitcoin be inflated?" And I think previously the question was around the topic of can developers kind of get together and inflate Bitcoin. In my mind, I don't see that happening. I think that there's definitely like a slight risk of that. It's a possibility, but I do think that it's a very, very small, minute possibility. The biggest thing I think that Bitcoin has, one of the biggest things that Bitcoin has is the fact that it is a known like monetary policy. You know exactly what's going to happen with the basically according to the block schedule. You know what the inflation rate's going to be. You know when the halving is going to occur. You know those types of things. They are predetermined, and I don't think that what's happening with that is necessarily going to be changed. And I think if anybody tries to change it, they will get forced out of the Bitcoin community before they can actually input those changes, because I think that level of stability is crucial to how Bitcoin is going to kind of continue on in the future. Let's see. John Silva says, "Have I bought Packcoin?" No, no, I have not bought Packcoin. I don't think that necessarily anybody's going to change the monetary policy of Bitcoin, at least anytime soon. The big debate with Bitcoin, and the kind of big component of the future that is very hotly contested. It's very far out, but what happens when the mining rewards essentially go to zero? And that will happen eventually. And the kind of initial thought process or the initial justification was, at some point in time when that eventually happens in the far out future, the price of Bitcoin will be so high that the transaction fees that miners will generate from processing transactions will be enough to sustain to sustain the profit margins that they need to run their mining operations. And that is a hotly contested, hotly debated topic in Bitcoin, and it will be for quite some time. I think it will be for a very long time. Do I have the answer to that? Absolutely not. I do not know. And then also when you look at that, and people throw in Lightning Network as well, and they say, well, transactions in Lightning Network are nearly free at this point in time. It's almost free to transact within the Lightning Network. What happens if a lot of the transactions move to the Lightning Network? There's not as many transactions on the base layer. Is that not going to eventually sustain the miners in addition to the block rewards, or when the block rewards run out? A lot of this is very future conversation, but it is something that needs to be planned for ahead of time as well. 5:25 p.m. Any dating relationship advice for the single crypto enthusiasts? Not finding my Bitcoin knowledge to be much of a panty dropper. My best advice would be to not talk about cryptocurrency on your dates. That's your advice. Hot tip, whether you are, I don't know. I would just say don't talk about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, especially on like the first 5 dates. If you want to, continue to go on dates with that individual. However, if you are out on a nice blind date or, an app date or whatever, and You don't like that person? Yeah, talk about the Bitcoin block size debate if you really want to chase that person away, and you'll be good to go. No drinks tonight now. Going straight water. Why not? um, Good question. Unknown Essence. Do you think the Lightning Network is the future of payments, or will an altcoin be used for shopping in person? I mean, shopping in person is also like that's a whole part of the debate too. I don't think shopping in person is ever going to go away, but I think e-commerce continually eats out brick and mortar retail, and will continue to take kind of chunks of that business basically from now until forever. I don't think we'll ever go to zero for brick and mortar. People always enjoy a brick and mortar retail store. And even when you look at a lot of these like online first brands, at least in New York for me, like there's a lot of companies, like if anybody's familiar with like Bonobos and some of those other companies, a lot of them have retail stores now. Like Casper Mattress, I think, has a retail store. Away Suitcases has a retail store. So that's a whole nother thing. But I am not a big fan of cryptocurrencies that solely try to compete with Bitcoin on transaction speed alone, because I think eventually there's going to come a time where Bitcoin will be able to scale, whether that's through Lightning or something else. And when your only moat is the speed of transactions, that could be an issue in the long run. So that's not my favorite component. I think there are other cryptocurrencies, like there are other different moats that make a cryptocurrency maybe more valuable and more protected from that in the long run. Uh, Interesting. Delirium, and you guys can sound off on this too. Delirium says he was in a debate the other day again with some of the counter arguments for the bazillionth time. Basically, the debate was stating that Bitcoin will never come to, I guess, fruition due to its use for crime and dark web activities. Your counter. So I think Bitcoin is becoming more and more and more legit over time, almost to the point where it's detrimental in my mind. Why do I say that? Because Bitcoin, while initially Bitcoin had, let's say, maybe less than clean roots, Bitcoin rose to prominence with Silk Road. That was one of the really early primary predominant use cases of Bitcoin, was Silk Road, and you can still conduct various nefarious activities utilizing Bitcoin. However, it is insanely stupid to do so. It is very, very dumb to do so. Why do I say it's dumb to do so? Because if you have ever KYC'd through basically any US or large exchange, they all use chain analysis or some type of other blockchain tracking software out there. They all use something like that, and they track, the blockchain analytics companies can figure out who you are, where you came from, where your money was sent to, and conducting nefarious activities on the Bitcoin blockchain is not a smart way to do things. If you want to look at like Bitcoin never gaining prominence, I don't think that is one of the reasons. If you want to look at Monero never gaining prominence, yeah, sure. But Bitcoin specifically, it is, it's better to do illegal things with cash in the United States. I think it was one of the quotes that's always resonated with me the most. But Chris Berniski, I think, said this at Consensus Invest in 2017. And this was in 2017. He said this. He's like, you're better off buying a kilo of Coke with US dollar cash than you are with Bitcoin, because it is easier to track you with Bitcoin than it is to track you with cash. So the nefarious activities, like saying Bitcoin will never, become successful, I would say US dollar is pretty successful and cash is pretty successful, and basically damn near impossible to track either of those. Five 5:25 p.m. We're always here for the outlandish comments. You got to make things interesting every once in a while, and if it's dating advice for you, I'm happy to help out. It might not always be the best, but I do think that, when I'm saying just don't talk to, I don't know, 5:25 p.m. I don't know if you're a male or a female. Either way, I would say that do not talk to your date about cryptocurrency. Stay the hell away from it. I literally have a buddy that went on, I think it was like 3 dates, and on the fourth date was talking about like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and went on the whole tangent. Never got the fifth date. Gone. Crypto Pappy, what's your current mic setup? Correct. It's a Shure SM7B mic with some Amazon plug-in, and then I have a Go XLR mixer. So it's I just have the mic plugged into the mixer, and then we're good to go. Created a Tinder where I talked about crypto in my portfolio. Not one hit. Shocked, buddy. Interesting. Yes, Josh, that's a very good point, and something that we could definitely talk a little bit about more. So, Josh basically goes back to the same question, but now for Monero. Feel like government going to try and shut that down. So that is something that I don't know how and where the government would necessarily shut Monero down, but Monero is one where Monero has privacy by default, and you can look at Zcash right now and God, the Zcash chart is like, if you want to see if you want to look at what death looks like in a cryptocurrency chart, let's pull up Zcash to Bitcoin. This is just slow, just like cutting the wrist and slowly bleeding out. It's not fun. It's death. That's what death looks like personified. That's the Zcash chart. But getting back to that with Zcash. So Zcash is optional privacy. So there are shielded addresses, and then there are like the transparent normal addresses. Because Zcash has shielded and non-shielded addresses, Zcash is actually approved by the New York Department of Financial Services, the NYDFS. Gemini offers Zcash. Gemini is never going to offer Monero, most likely. Unless they use the kind of like the ring signature identifier that like Bittrex uses, I think. But because Zcash is privacy with optionality, Monero is privacy by default. Having default privacy is something that I don't think regulators are really interested in. So, yeah. Hex awareness team. Am I going to claim my hex coins? No, I'm not. What's up, Stefan? Oh, that's why I only have like 194 listeners, because Bully's on Crypto Street. What's up, Dale? What's up, Prince? What's up, Killer? What's up, Bully? I want to take away screen time from those boys, but hey, it's got to fight for every ounce of attention on these crypto streets. Michael, thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate that. Would I go on Joe Rogan as a crypto ambassador? I think there are other people that are more qualified to do so, personally. I mean, I'd love to. That would be fantastic. But there are definitely other people that deserve that more than I do personally. Andreas Antonopoulos was on Joe Rogan before. I don't know if he's had any other crypto people on. He's talked about crypto on his podcast a few times, but yeah, that's... Otter's going to prison. Yeah, all you have to do is you mix Bitcoin and DMT together, and then that's boom, the Joe Rogan podcast. So you're good to go. taking a look at these questions here. Nighthawk, hello, is ETH going up soon? I will look into my crystal ball right now. I am uncertain about things until May 6th. I would really like to see, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for basically the entire market. I'm pretty hedged right now to neutral exposure at this point in time for just kind of crypto as a whole, with just a kind of a neutral short position, or a larger short position to basically get my longs at neutral. So I've hedged myself right now just because I don't know what's going to happen on May 6th. I don't know if there's going to be some more information, but the Bitfinex Tether stuff does actually make me a little bit uneasy and not super stoked about everything. So waiting for the happy hour dump. It has not happened yet, Philip. Surprisingly, I mean, actually, knock on wood. The past couple times with crypto happy hour really hasn't dumped outside of. Woof. There's Adam. Jeez, that happened quick. Price discovery. What's it down from the peak? What do we got? Yeah. I'll buy a little bit more of Adam if it keeps dumping off. Why not? Delirium, your thoughts on private company government driven blockchain for car titles, house deeds, etc. versus governments using public blockchains like ETH? It depends on the use case. I think there's a lot of complexities with private blockchains, in some cases where they make sense, in some cases where they don't. So I think, you want to evaluate it on a one-off basis. And, what are they using for said private blockchains? Is it like, a Hyperledger type thing? Is it like what JP Morgan's doing with a version of Ethereum with Quorum, like a forked version of Ethereum that they've built themselves? There's a lot to look into when you think about what happens with what's happening essentially with the utilization of private versus public. One of the guys I work with and some of the team I work with are actually doing a blog post, pretty detailed research piece on private versus public blockchain, specifically for securities. So that'll be interesting. I'll let you guys know when that actually gets published as well. Rules for Rebels, interesting. Why is BNB dropping? Well, I mean, BNB's down 0.11 or like less than 1%. I mean, why is BNB dropping? Because it went on the most ridiculous run from December. It's still up. If you bought this stuff in December, you're up 220% against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's been up in that time frame. But that's why it's always something like, where I'm always a little bit nervous. I mean, it's only down 50. It's not even down that much. It's down 15% from its peak. It's not down that much at all. But that's always why I'm worried about it. If you're buying something that's up 100, 200, 300%, whatever it might be, you never want to buy the top. Sometimes you'll miss out on an additional pump. But I'm never somebody who's super interested in buying somebody else's bags. It always scares me. Adam 50X ICO, yes. So I am slightly buying somebody else's bags with that one. Cosmos ICO was a hot minute ago, if I do remember correctly. So effectively, it went through the bull run. Yeah, it closed 2 years ago. Token sale happened on April of 2017. So I don't want to say it deserves a 50x pump at all. Not in any respect whatsoever. But do I think it could still pump more if we see like an actual bull run where it is a public cryptocurrency? Yes, same with Tezos. What's up, Novi Nov? Thank you for that super chat, man. I appreciate that. Love the show for a while. Thank you. Very nice of you. I think the market is smarter than 2017 predictions. Alts won't run in the next bull run. Yes and no, I think. I think part of that is correct. I think part of that is not. I don't think like basically everything in crypto ran in December 2017, 2018, like everything. You'd be hard pressed not to find like at least a 100x, but like most likely like a 500x. Like you would have been hard pressed to find that. I do think that for the most part, people are smarter, and I do think Bitcoin will 100% lead the way. But I also do think like some of them maybe like mid to large. There's going to be opportunities outside of Bitcoin. There are going to be altcoins that do well. I mean, looking at the chart right now, like BNB is, we're not in a bull run. BNB still pulled a 200% move against Binance, or excuse me, against Bitcoin. You look at something like Raven. Raven has retraced pretty heavily now. This is also like Raven more so than BNB. Raven's down 40% now from the top that it hit in April, and looks like it's approaching. I don't know. I wouldn't touch Raven right now at all. That's just me. But it's still possible for altcoins to do really well. Do I think people might be more selective? Yes. But I do think that with Tezos, or I'm seeing Tezos in the comments, so no. I do think that a lot of the tendency that people have, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, a lot of what happens in my mind is, you'll see a run of Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies, but mostly Bitcoin. Maybe you'll see Ethereum and something else. And somebody will tell their friends, be like, I just made so much money on Bitcoin. I just made so much money on Ethereum. The friend looks at that and says, well, my friend already made all their money. The person on CNBC who's talking about Bitcoin going up, they already made all their money. What's the next Bitcoin? What's the next Ethereum? What's the next thing I can make my money in? Yes, I'm sure they're going to put some money in that. But that's also one of the big reasons why altcoins do well in my mind, is people are always looking for the next thing. They see what happened with Ethereum. They see what happened with Bitcoin. They see what happened with some of these other, with XRP, whatever. Oh, wow, XRP went from 1 cent to $2. Ethereum went from $1 to $1,000, whatever it is. Like, what's the next one to do that? And they want to find that because that's the way that they're going to retire, and that's the way they're going to buy a Lambo and all that type of stuff. So taking a look at some of these questions. Freeman Young, I do think a little bit of it depends upon Tether. I think we need a little more clarity there to break above 6K. I think that could potentially be something that'll help us get above that range, but I do think we're going to need some level of clarity. I do think that the situation is not ideal. I don't like it. I want to. I'm done. I'm not done because I kind of have to, but like I want to be done talking about Bitfinex. I want to be done talking about Tether. I don't think it's a value add for the crypto space. I don't want to defend the actions because I don't think it's advantageous for their users. I think there are some hardcore people that have been in the space for a while that still do defend them, and I do think it's kind of because they, Bitfinex has been in the space for a while and they have a soft spot for them, but I don't think it's a hill worth dying on, and I think eventually it's going to be something that gets flushed out of the ecosystem in my mind, most likely. Delirium, will I shave a mohawk if BTC reaches all-time highs this month? No. The hair, it's got to stay on the head. I mean, it's spend too much time growing the hair out. I can't shave a mohawk. Nope. I'm certainly not McAfee. I'm not going to eat my own genitalia. And I am also not going to shave a mohawk. Shaved my face when I said I grew out a beard for the bear market, and I shaved the beard when the bear market was over. I did that, and that was for the good of everyone. That was for the good of humanity and the good of crypto Twitter. Will I shave my head friar monk style if Bitcoin reaches 20K by June? No, it's not going. No, it's there. The flow's staying. Trying to get on Luke Martin level with the flow. It's not going to happen because he's got that natural flow. But I'm trying to grow the lettuce out. Bitfinex and Tether BS is already priced in. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, there's no way to really accurately know that. I am slightly surprised that Bitcoin has held up so well. It has been nice to see Bitcoin only dropping 5% and then basically recovering. I mean, where were we? Bitcoin's down about $300 from. It's recovered 50% of the fall, which wasn't that much. So it's down about maybe 2.5-3%. So it certainly has not crashed the market. That does say, I think, two things. People are very bullish on Bitcoin right now and willing to discount or ignore the Tether and Bitfinex issues. Either people don't believe them or we just haven't seen the worst of it yet. So I don't know exactly what's going to occur. It's really tough to say, but I don't like the situation. It's not something that I'm a massive fan of. I'm sure they're gonna eventually get their way out of it, but dollar bill going to 43 hundo. If Bitcoin goes to 43 hundo, I will definitely buy at that range. And again, I'm hedged right now to pretty much neutral exposure. So I'd be putting fresh fiat into Bitcoin if it went to 4,300. But yeah, I don't know if we'll be seeing that anytime soon, but I'm prepared if we do so. Julio, what's going on, man? Thank you very much for that super chat. Super kind of you. Super chat, super kind. Really do appreciate that, brother. 50-day moving average. Can't speak English right now. 50-day moving average has upwards momentum, and 200-day moving average has downward momentum. First, the 200 DMA needs to level out, and then both the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA have upward momentum and golden cross. You have the bull market. I believe we already had the quote unquote golden cross. Too lazy to put in. Yeah, we had the golden cross on Bitcoin few days ago, actually, like a week or so ago. You have the 50-day and 200-day crossover. So I think that's already something that happened. It's not necessarily a guarantee for a bull market, though. I think it's something that typically is associated with a bull market. It's a bullish, it's a bullish pattern. But there have been times in the past where Bitcoin has indeed printed a golden cross and the market has not actually maintained bullish momentum for a long period of time. So certainly not a guarantee, but appreciate that statement for sure, Julio. What's up, Giovanni on Twitch? How's it going, my man? Shout out to my limited Twitch audience. We're growing. We're strong. I see all two of you on Twitch. If you don't subscribe to me on Twitch yet, CryptoBobby12, do it. When is the ETF coming? I have no freaking clue. 2020. Not 2019. 2020. Shout out Kifster for the bat he sent for beer. I love drinking beer, even though I'm not drinking it right now. I'm going to have a protein shake in a little bit because I'm, again, trying to get back in shape. it's almost beach season, and I'm gonna get sunburnt like I always do and look like a lobster on live streams for you guys because I know you guys enjoy that. So make sure that happens, and hopefully not be as fat as I usually am on the beach. I'll give that a shot. But Kipster, thanks for the bat. If you guys use Brave, I am a certified publisher on Brave on my YouTube channel, Twitch, and on my website. So if you ever need anything or if you want to contribute to the site, I'm here for you. Wallowitz, what's up, my man? Watch out. Reaper, is that 3 people on Twitch right now? Whoa, watch it. Watch it, boys. Chico Crypto now benching 225. You got to keep up with him. Bench has never been my strong suit, and I'll have to get up to 225, but right now I'm a little weenie boy, so I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Richard, will we get another cooking video from Lobster Bobby Flay? If you like one, I'd happily produce one. I'm working on a few new things in the repertoire, but always happy to cook steak. I've been on a garlic shrimp kick lately. That's been quite delicious. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Classic is coming. Yes, I will. I'll be attending, and I actually am speaking at Consensus. I'm on a panel, so I am speaking at Consensus. I think briefly, like a 45-minute panel or something like that. I'm talking about the Quadriga CX hack with a few other folks. So speaking on behalf of, or speaking like representing AirSwap for that. So just talking about like the Quadriga CX hack in particular, as well as how we could prevent that in the future. And I think that the stance that I'll likely be taking for that is on the non-custodial side of the house, because I do think non-custodial trade is really important. You know, not providing your keys to a cryptocurrency exchange, you know, like whether it's an AirSwap or a BISC or a Uniswap or just always maintaining custody on your own. I think that's awesome. I'll also be so Fluidity Summit. Fluidity is the parent company of AirSwap. Somebody just mentioned do like a vlog. One of the things we were talking about the other day, at least for Fluidity, is I'm not speaking at Fluidity, but I might actually have a videographer. I might just walk around and interview a bunch of people at Fluidity and just record that and put out like a video of kind of the videos where you have people like going around and interviewing individuals for like at like election rallies and shit like that, and kind of joking around, having fun, asking people questions. I think I'm going to go up to every single person at Fluidity, including like, the head of Goldman Sachs, crypto and Citigroup and all these places, and just be like, hey, Bitcoin price prediction. I'm not actually going to do that, but yeah, I'm going to do something pretty cool. We should do something fun for that. Make sure I announce the shitcoin of the week when I'm on stage. Yeah, I will. I'll go for that. Boss might not like that, but 4 people on Twitch, things are lit right now. It's popping. Twitch is popping right now. This is the most we've ever had. I'm about to be a pro Twitch in no time. Watch out, Ninja. Never played Fortnite, never will. Delirium, ever been outside the US? Yes, a lot of times. Been to, in the last year, I went to Dubai for a crypto conference. I went to Prague for a crypto conference. Went to Jamaica last year. Went to Canada to ski. Where else did I go? That's probably about it last year. I've been to a bunch of places in the Caribbean. Been to Europe once or twice. So going to Jamaica again in the fall because I like Jamaica and I like drinking and eating jerk chicken and going to all-inclusive resorts because I get to drink and eat as much as I want, which is the ideal scenario in the world. Yeah, Dumb's gonna be now. Dumb, you can't beat a Dumb live stream. Homie did a 24-hour live stream in a row, which is pretty damn incredible. Tell us about a time you got wrecked. When haven't I gotten wrecked in cryptocurrency? Aircoins Lee. Uh, no, I mean, I think there's been a number of different times I've gotten wrecked, whether it's been, participating in an ICO that hasn't gone well. I put some money in the old Polyswarm ICO token sale. That was not a good one for me. That was not a sound investment for me. Rchain was probably like the biggest. RHOC was one that I have capital losses with Rchain probably for the next like 80 billion years. I bought it, I think in May, towards the end of May of 2018, kind of at the tail end of the second like mini altcoin run. And Rchain was a project that like had a lot of decent like hype, I think, and like there were some people like technically that liked Rchain. My buddy Rocco, who was on the channel earlier this week. If you guys haven't seen that video, Rocco is the one that introduced me to Cardano in 2017, which was by far my best trade of 2017, buying that at like 3 cents and selling it a lot higher than 3 cents. So that was definitely my best trade of 2017. So I always take Rocco's word with, Rocco's phenomenal researcher. So when he's like, yeah, man, Rchain's worth taking a look at, bought some Rchain, and there was behind closed doors, apparently a bunch of infighting and people were dumping it. And I got absolutely roasted on that Rchain investment. That was like a 97% loser. So time I got wrecked, that was 97% for you. And it's funny because I see some of the telegrams too where it's like people come in and like bitch and moan, and it's like they didn't like go in the Rchain telegram group and be like, sir, please, I want a refund. It's like, yeah, I'll make fun of it occasionally and be like, yeah, I'm down fucking 97% because I'm an idiot. But it is what it is. That's nobody put a gun to my head and said you have to buy Rchain. I was like, hey, this is gonna go up, so I'm gonna buy some and play stupid games, win stupid prizes, as they say. 7 people on Twitch. That's it. I'm Ninja. That's fine. We're good. ESPN, when are you going to do a profile on me for my Twitch stardom? It's pretty crazy. Make sure to subscribe or do whatever people do on there because I'm just figuring out how the hell to actually use it. So, shout out to my homies on Twitch. Oh, my comment button here is comment thing's broken. Oh, there we are. Well, I need to reload my stream thingy here. I got semi-wrecked when Litecoin went from 4 to 14. Then I sold and bought back in at 28. Yeah, shit happens. It is what it is. It's life in the speculative crypto game. So taking a look, is Rchain still alive? It's on its last leg, I believe. I would not, if I'm you, I'm not buying Rchain anytime soon. I think a lot of it is moving to Casper, so I would not be the person to be, holding on to that for much longer. So can I cover what's going on? I think that might be May 6th we're talking about. So here, hold on. See if we could pull up. See if we could pull this up for you guys. Give me half a second here. Let me get on the other screen. Where's my man Nomad? Tweeted this out. So here's what's going on. And I'm not a lawyer. Steven could probably comment on this a little bit more. But this is basically what part of the issue is for Tether on May 6th, what I was talking about previously, what the commentary is there for that. So with Tether on May 6th, you could see here that a judge in New York did a order to show clause and has ordered that the petitioner, I believe, who is the NYDFS, needs to show cause before the court on May 6th at 2:15 as to why they should not order an issue vacating the ex parte with Bitfinex. So in English here, Stephen says it is not at all unusual for a court to issue a show cause order after issuing an ex parte order where the respondent has briefed in opposition. Whatever you think of Bitfinex or Tether or the merits of their argument, we live in a country where state actors can be challenged. So Stephen says, I would have done the exact same thing if I were this judge. Now the state attorney general has an opportunity to explain why the other side of this is wrong and why the order should stand. Then the court will rule. This is exactly how it should be. So what the hell does that mean? What are we talking about right now? What does that mean at all? So basically, Bitfinex and Tether challenged the New York Attorney General's. Bitfinex, Tether kind of challenged the order that the New York Attorney General put out that was the cause of all this craziness recently. So they put that out there, and the team from Bitfinex, the legal team from Bitfinex, Tether, have opposed that in some respects and has put out kind of required the Supreme Court of New York, not just the New York Attorney General, but the actual state of New York, I believe, to have the New York Attorney General show why an order should not be issued vacating. So this is going to be, it's up to, at this point in time, now it's kind of back in the New York Attorney General's point to show why they have an opportunity to explain why Bitfinex and Tether is wrong in this scenario and why their order should stand, and then the court has an opportunity to rule. So right now the ball is in the New York Attorney General's court, which is why I'm a little bit nervous, because they're kind of on the offensive now, and if they don't maintain the offensive, then then they put out this order initially and they're going to lose kind of the momentum that they had, and we're going to go away here. So brawl coming, McAfee versus Craig Wright. If they want to take themselves both out, that's fine. The space will be no worse off. Freeman Young, I don't think I ever held Wanchain. It was something that I was watching early on. I wish I got in on the ICO for Wanchain. That was one that was like, you knew that if you got in on the ICO, you're going to make money, but that came out at like a multiple X of what the ICO was at a time where the returns for crypto were somewhat dying down. So I decided not to buy into kind of that inflated price, and it turned out to not be the worst thing in the world. Enrique, y'all's guys playing with fire. Bitcoin's the scams. Well, that's fine, buddy. Watch out. Bitcoin's coming to get you. My portfolio, I need to update that on my website. It is not currently up to date. Definitely not currently up to date. Guys, at this point in time, I'm out of water and I want to eat dessert / my protein shake. So I'm going to go do that. I really do appreciate everybody that tuned in though tonight. A lot of people on Twitch. Shout out to my homies on Twitch. Shout out to the people on Telegram. And as always, folks on YouTube, you guys are the OGs. You guys are the real ones. Love you all. But appreciate it. If you are new to the channel by any chance, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you've been here, watch the whole thing, hit that like button. Always helps a brother out with that. Hope you had a good time tonight for Crypto Happy Hour. I will be back as always later this week with more content. Thank you guys. Hope you have a good one. Peace.